Welcome back. I hope you guys are feeling fantastic just like I am. Given we have created a brilliant 4-2-3-1 on Football Manager 2023, if I say so myself. Like I said in the intro, it started out as an England recreation, but then I went to England because I do like to test it. I do test it at international level, but I also like to test it at club level. So I went to Chelsea and it wasn't working as I hoped. So I made some tweaks and then we came up with a fantastic 4-2-3-1, which I feel will help in a lot of your guys' save. So in this video, we are going to briefly look at the results. With England, we got to the World Cup final. With Chelsea, we won the Premier League. Sorry for all the spoilers, but we won the Premier League and we got to the Champions League final. So we are going to be playing the World Cup final and the Champions League final in the same video. So without the further hold up, let me swipe down there and let's get stuck into it. So to start off at Chelsea in the Premier League, we played 38, we won 31, we drew 3 and we lost 4 games. All 4 losses came away from home. So did all 3 draws as well, all away from home. So at Stamford Bridge, we were very strong. We lost away to West Ham, Manchester United, Liverpool and Manchester City. We drew against Arsenal, Villa and Brighton. In the Champions League, of course, we have to play that Champions League final against Paris Saint-Germain. In the FA Cup, we got knocked out in the quarter-final by Liverpool, and in the Carabao Cup, we got knocked out in the 3rd round by Aston Villa. So in all competitions, Kai Havertz managed to score 30 goals. Raheem Sterling got 15. Fofana got 11 set pieces. Of course, Mason Mount got 11 goals as well. And looking at the creativity, Mason Mount with 17 assists, Raheem Sterling with 16. Shifting over to the data hub, comparing to the league's average, we scored a lot, 2.11 goals per game. We had a high expected goals per game as well at 1.86 and 18 shots at goal per game. We completed 18.11 dribbles, which is just above the league's average, but not way above it. And fouls against as well. We were fouled a lot, 16.32 fouls against us per game. So if we were playing for set piece, I mean, if we had set pieces routine set up and everything, free kicks, throw-ins and corners, we could have possibly scored a lot more goals. So looking at the XG table, we finished first, but were expected to finish 3rd. We were expected to score 70 goals. We scored 79. Expected to concede 32 goals, but we actually conceded 22 and expected points of 75.2. But we done better. We got 96. So that's all the data and all the results wrapped up for Chelsea. We can look at the England stuff a little later on before we play that World Cup final game against USA. So we should win that game. But for now, we are going to look at the tactic. The influence of the tactic, of course, was England. So I'm going to do my little tactical analysis of the game yesterday. And then in Football Manager, we are going to look at the tactic. England were and will be a patient possession side, playing with little directness. Southgate's side don't neglect the long ball though. Often during the game, the goalkeeper Jordan Pickford went long if the ball was played back to him. In possession, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham provided Southgate with the fluidity and flexibility to allow England to control possession with the 2 central midfielders, often working in tandem. This allowed the fullbacks to then push forward, with Mason Mount playing advance also meant that he could drop deep to receive the ball in midfield, and that allowed Kane to remain the vocal point for England. England used the half spaces and the zone 14 area effectively, utilising the attacking threat in the wider areas to build up play, but also to attack the channels by playing through balls to the speedy wide players to run onto. We saw this especially when Saka grabbed the 2nd goal of the game. Considering England had 77.2% of ball possession, they hardly did any defending, but often with the double pivot operating closely, they were well equipped to stop any potential counter-attacks and were strong with their recoveries in the final third. In transition, England counter-pressed well, which was helped by their compact attacking shape and players looking to play in close proximity. That was my tactical analysis, just a mini one, just a very, very brief one of yesterday's game. Now, it's important to know in Football Manager, this is the training schedule that I used. Weirdly enough, it works. Of course, when I have one match during the week, this is what we went for. And then when there's two matches during the week, you can literally just plump the match. Here is it. There it is. Match. And then recovery. Yeah, there we are. Something like this. Or if you don't want this here, you could just remove that. And then there we are. This is the training schedules that I use throughout the whole season, every week. no days off. Now for the tactic, for the formation, I believe you could have either went with the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, but the reason why I went with the 4-2-3-1 is because I really want to focus on that Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice partnership in midfield. They absolutely control the game against Iran. But we can also see from the passing network how this could easily be a 4-3-3 with Declan Rice holding that anchor man in midfield, and then you got Jude Bellingham slightly to the right, and then Mason Mount slightly ahead in the left half space. So it could easily be a 4-4-3 or a 4-2-3-1. I went with a 4-2-3-1 because I just absolutely love the Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice partnership. I also wanted to take note of the key players as well, who was progressing with the ball with a carry or progressing with the ball via a pass. John Stones, highly effective. You can see he had a lot of the ball and he was progressing it via pass and carry as well. He was very important to England's build-up play. But we can also see Maguire very similar, carrying and progressing with the ball via a pass. Luke Shaw mainly using the pass to progress play. Trippier as well, passing, Declan Rice passing, but you can see Saka here in that advanced area, more of a progressor with the ball. Mason Mount too as well. So for me, I really wanted to capture John Stones. I really wanted to capture Harry Maguire's role as well, possibly two ball-playing defenders at the back. Jude Bellingham as well in holding midfield. He could be a defensive midfielder, but we could be asking him to dribble more. I mean, that is exactly what I've asked him to do. Luke Shaw is more progressive, more attacking than the fullback on the right-hand side. And then we've got Saka and Mount as well. We will try and replicate those roles. So now going into Football Manager for our two centre-backs, which is going to make them two ball-playing defenders. For Luke Shaw, a wing-back on attack. And then for Kieran Trippier, we can use a wing-back on support. And this here is our back four. For the two centre-backs, we can also add dribble more with the ball. Now looking at the clusters of all pass attempts as well, we can see how England control the game, especially in the deeper areas. Like I said, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham absolutely controlled the game. So for those two roles, I didn't necessarily want to give them any ambitious roles. So that could be a deep line playmaker, even a roam playmaker. I didn't want anybody that would force some sort of play. So a deep line playmaker may try a risky pass, so to a roaming playmaker, or a roaming playmaker may try to dribble with the ball more often than not. I didn't really want that. I wanted the two central midfielders to kind of be safe in possession and just literally just control the game in the deeper areas. So for Declan Rice, we do have a defensive midfielder on defend. The reason why I've got him on the left hand side, possibly in real life he was on the right hand side, but the two did switch a lot of the game as well. They did switch a lot, but the reason why in Football Manager I've got him on the left hand side is just providing better balance, considering we've got the wing back on attack on the left hand side. And then for Jude Bellingham, we can just simply give him the defensive midfielder on support. Now I must stress as well, sometimes you can just literally ignore the name, the title of the player role. It's all about what they do on the pitch, their behaviors on the pitch, and how they behave within your tactical setup. So I know some people may disagree with some of the roles that I'm giving. For an example, Jude Bellingham, what, a defensive midfielder on support? He's much more than that. But when you do watch the game in the match engine in Football Manager, you would notice that he is actually doing a little bit more often. And again, the tactical setup, I'm asking them for an example to counter. So Jude Bellingham, more often than not, when we do win the ball, he's going to get further forward, and sometimes he is making his way into the box. So now moving into the more advanced areas of the pitch and looking at the zone 14 and half space passes as well. England completed 16 zone 14 passes and 42 half space passes. The players, the attacking players, especially the wingers as well, they played very narrow. They played close to each other, and this allowed Harry Kane to link up play really, really well in those advanced areas as well. But also Mason Mount as well, being able to float and again playing closely to one another, and England done very well in those narrow attacking areas. So in Football Manager, on the left hand side, the role that I've given the left winger is the inverted winger on support, but I've also asked him to sit more narrow when we are in possession. On the right hand side, I do have an inside forward rather than an inverted winger, and again just asking him to sit more narrow when we are in possession of the ball. And we saw a lot of this, especially for the Saka second goal, coming in from that sort of half space area. Now for the Mason Mount role, we do have an advanced playmaker. Playmakers in the game are kind of the focus play. So when we are building up, we kind of want the ball to stick not kind of stick, but we want the ball to go into that area where the advanced playmaker is, in that zone 14 area. And that is one way we can get passes into that area, because they are looking for that playmaker in that sort of area. Lastly, Harry Kane, we are using not a pressing forward, a complete forward on support, someone that can be a focal point for the team, but also again linking up play really well with the two wider players, but also that number 10. So that's my player roles all completed, but we can look at the territories of control. England 6, Iran 2, and we can see here in position again, you can kind of see a 4-3-3 here with Declan Rice in that sort of DM area, Bellingham just on the right to him, and Mason Mount just on the left to him. But again, when we go back to my Football Manager tactic now, it wasn't just the standard 4-2-3-1. No, to try and replicate that, I have shifted my attacking midfielder slightly to the left, because there was a slight focus to the left. I kind of overload to the left, and again in Football Manager this works really well, because you are shifting the defensive team's focus sort of to that area of the pitch, and this allows the inside forward, it just gives him so much space to attack, and this is how the inside forward scored a lot of his goals in Football Manager. So that's all the player roles done and explained. Now what I'm going to do is load up the free tactics, because it's going to have all the team instructions already loaded, and like I said, the free tactics will be slightly different. So this here is my England replication. This is the tactic that we use for the England test. In possession, the attacking width is set to fairly wide, the approach play passed into space, passing directness shorter, and tempo on slightly higher. In transition, all we've got is counter-attacking movements once the possession has been won. And lastly, for out of possession, a high press, a higher defensive line, and the trigger press is set to more often with prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Now for the Chelsea tweak, which is the perfect tweak. So this here is the main one, but we also got one which is kind of time wasting a little bit when we are playing the more difficult teams away from home. So here is the 4-2-3-1, which I use 90% of the times. In possession, things have slightly changed. The attacking width is now on standard rather than fairly wide. That is possibly the only change. In transition, we do now have counter press, but also take short kicks. And out of possession, the trigger press is set to much more often, and yeah, get stuck in. Those are the tweaks. Now for the more time wasty version, the wing back on attack is now a full back on attack, and of course we do have time wasting on. Sometimes the passing directness is now on standard rather than shorter, and the tempo is now on higher rather than slightly higher, and that there is the tweaks. And you have three tactics. You have the time wasting version, you have the fantastic or the perfect tweaked version, and then you have the England replicated version. But what we are going to do now is play the Champions League final, and then to cap off this video, we will play the World Cup final. So let's get stuck into the Champions League final. So for the Champions League final, we are going to start off with the original tactic, and then if we go a goal up, or if we're winning at half time, then I may switch it to the more time wasting version. So this is the team that we're going to kick this game off with. Let's get stuck in. So here are the boys walking out from the tunnel, the Champions League final, a very important game, this. So here are the teams. Here's Christian Pulisic with an early corner, he whips it in, but it's headed out PSG, and Kante's on the ball now. Plays it to Jorginho, Nathan Chalobah. Here's Kante. Kante's driving towards goal. They've given him the space, and he's driven the ball over the bar. What's going to happen? Oh, Donnarumma calmly plays it out to Nuno Mendes. Mendes back to Sergio Ramos. He's got plenty of time on the ball. Not sure where Kai Havertz is. He's very deep. I'm not sure why. Oh, the ball's just been given to Mason Mount. Here's Kai Havertz, 1-on-1. He scored another Champions League final goal. Is it going to be disallowed? No, it's not. It hasn't even gone to VAR. I'm not exactly sure what Mukiele was doing on the ball here. He's just played it to Mason Mount. Mason Mount collects the ball, plays a lovely through pass into Kai Havertz. He's round the goalkeeper and slots it in. 1-0 to Chelsea. Is Mukiele with a free kick. Plays out wide to Kabembe. Here's Fabian. Out to Nuno Mendes. Here's Neymar Jr. now driving towards goal. He's going to be stopped by Jorginho, and no free kick, or penalty even, sorry. Reece James clears the ball, but oh, Kai Havertz is beating Sergio Ramos. Okay then. The ball's being given back to the PSG defence though. Here's Sergio Ramos on the ball. Mukiele now. Marco Verratti, Messi. I see the right wing back running and he's not being marked. This guy has been just didn't even chase him. Didn't even bother to chase him. Just let the right wing back go. Why don't you? So we are slowly approaching half time. We've both had one highlight each, and PSG missed theirs. We've scored ours, but you can see statistically we have been the better team. We've had 10 shots to PSG's 2. They've had 1 on target. We've had 2 on target, and we've managed to score 1 at least. Now, here is the second half. We've got a few bookings as well. We might want to keep an eye out on that. In fact, Chilwell can come off for Cucurella, I believe. Here's Hakimi, though. Hopefully, Chilwell doesn't get sent off here. Keeper, come out a little for us. Keeper, well done. In fact, let me make that change now. Cucurella on. Here's Chalobah. Thiago Silva, Chalobah, back to Mendy. Mendy, he's got a pass here. Out wide, there's a player out wide here. If you want him, here's Reece James into Jorginho. Jorginho back to Kante. Kante to Thiago Silva. Mount can drop a little. So can Kai Havertz. Someone needs to offer us that passing option. Oh, they've just let us get the long ball. Christian Pulisic's shot goes over the bar. I'm shocked that the PSG defender did not get there. Here's Reece James with a throw-in. Hakim Ziyech, this game is starting to open up now. Hakim Ziyech down on the right-hand side. He's driving towards the box. He's in. Ref! Penalty, surely. Nothing, no. He's just gone straight through us. What? What? How is that not a penalty? I'm sorry, people. How was that? He just literally just taken us down. That can't be any more clear cut. I still can't believe that we didn't get a penalty for that. And they went and scored as well, just to make things worse. So it's 1-1 at the end of full time, and we're gonna go to extra time. I'm actually so shocked. So shocked that wasn't given a penalty. Here's Hakim Ziyech. He gets tackled. Here's Kante. Kante out wide to Thiago Silva. He's going to play it out even further wider to Cucurella. Cucurella down the line to Christian Pulisic. Now Chelsea have an attack here. He plays it to the edge of the box. He's got a long shot on him. He tries it and it goes over the bar. Yep, that's it. That's that. Penalty shootout has been lost. I'll be surprised if we even save one. I don't think we're even going to save a penalty. There's Messi slotted. Thiago Silva is probably going to miss our penalty as well. Something silly like that's going to happen. Here's Mason Mount with a penalty. They're going to score every single... I've been through so many penalty shootouts in this game. I know what's going to happen. They're literally going to score every single penalty. They're going to score every single penalty. I just know it. Slots it in. Oh my days. I'm telling you, they're going to score every single penalty. How has he not even saved that? Oh my days. At least we're going to have the chance to win the World Cup after this, because we are not even going to save a penalty. I can guarantee you we're not saving a penalty here. It's all on this PSG penalty now. The last penalty, but they're going to score it, man. They are going to score it. This keeper is just awful as well. Dreadful. Oh my, let's play that World Cup final, because that game just absolutely wound me off. That game has wound me up because they just do not miss penalties. Never. We are now here at England, and this is the lineup. So looking at the World Cup, if we look at our road to the World Cup final, you can see we beat Iran 6-1 in the first game. We beat Wales 4-1 in the second game, and then we ended up the groups beating USA, who we've got in the final 3-2. We then beat Senegal 3-0 in the second round before beating France 2-1 in the quarterfinal, beating Switzerland 4-0 in the semi-final. So the road to the World Cup final was fairly straightforward, other than France. I mean, we played France. It was an equal game. Sterling scored in the 54th minute, which was the winner. Equal game, nothing too fancy, but other than that, it's a fairly easy run to the World Cup. Now, I'll be hugely disappointed if we lost this. Here is the World Cup final. So here comes England and here comes USA for the World Cup final. Gareth Southgate on the sidelines whilst the England team are in the huddle. Let's get to kick off. Here's Ramsdale with the goal kick. He kicks it long, looking for, well, Harry Kane should be there, but Jude Bellingham wins the header. Here's Carter Vickers, the centre-back for USA. It falling to Reece James. Here's Henderson over the top to Phil Foden. He's through on goal. He buries it, but it's going to go to VAR. I've got a slight suspicion that goal was offside. The goal is being reviewed and, oh, goal awarded. It's now England 1, USA 0. Weird defending there from the USA. And Henderson, what a pass. Yeah, he's onside. He's clearly onside. And what a finish by Phil Foden. 1-0 to England. Oh, Mason Mount interception, plays it into Foden's path. Here's Phil Foden. He's clearly not going to go to goal here. He's brought down, and again, the referee is just, what is up with us and penalty claims? It's just nothing. Plays it out wide to Saka. What a pass, by the way. Harry Kane into the box, and what a header. What a goal for England. Saka with the assist, Harry Kane with the header, and it is 2-0, but Jordan Henderson is down. Jordan Henderson is down. I believe it was him that made that pass, so he played the pass and pulled something. Oh, yeah, there it is. He pulls out. Harry Kane, what a goal. What a goal. What a goal. Here's Mason Mount with a free kick on the edge of the box. Plays it into the far post, but it's headed out by USA. Here's Josh Sargent all by himself. Jordan Henderson is, yeah, he's obviously going to get there. Jordan Henderson plays it into Ben Chilwell. Chilwell, who's been a bit weird for Chelsea and England as well. He does sort of this stuff and then just gets caught in possession very often. Here's John Stones. Plays it out wide to Reece James. Reece James on the ball now. He's going to progress. And progress he does. Whips it in. Harry Kane with a header. And oh! What has happened there? It's USA 0, England 3. I mean, I felt the game was against us in the Champions League final. Certainly, the game is for us in this World Cup final because I have absolutely no idea what has just happened there. Reece James out here on the right-hand side and header to, I mean, Stefan, it says it's pushed away, but he's clearly tried to control that right into Saka's path, and it is now 3 goals to the England and none to the USA. Here's Sergino Dest on the ball, loses out to Saka. No idea what he's doing there as well. Carter Vickers at the back, plays it out wide to Sergino Dest. He comes inside with the ball this time and he drives, beating Saka. Here's Scally now. Plays it into Giovanni Reina. He has a shot and it's over the bar. Here's Mason Mount with a corner just before half-time. Looks for Harry Kane and it's straight into Stefan's hands. I mean, Harry Kane should have done a lot better there. Here's Zach Stefan. Clears the ball, but it's gone straight to Ben Chilwell. Chilwell to Tomori. Tomori to Stones now. Plays it out wide to Saka. Saka drive, boy. Saka drive. There we are. He's running at his defender. He's going to pull it back to Mason Mount. And it's 4-0 to England. USA 0, England 4. This is possibly the easiest final that anyone, especially England, could possibly have. It's USA 0, England 4. Saka running out wide. I thought he was going to put the ball in earlier. I also thought he was going to pull it back to Jordan Henderson, but he puts the ball in a lovely area for Mason Mount, and it's 4-0. So it's half-time. England had 9 shots, 7 on target. Very good going forward. Hopefully, more of that in the second half. I am going to praise the boys. Here's Giovanni Reina with a corner. Hopefully, England can get a clean sheet, but that clean sheet is not happening because Walker Zimmerman has just scored with a far post header. Again, really frustrated about that goal conceded. Let's not watch that. And that wraps up the World Cup final. England have won the World Cup. I mean, it was kind of expected as soon as we knew that USA were the opponents. Unfortunately, that wraps up today's video. That is the World Cup final played. England are the winners. And, well, that's today's video wrapped up. If you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like this video. Also, leave a comment down in the comment section. USA 1, England 4.